Well, I hope you've all had a fantastic Christmas and you're looking forward to a good new year. This month we go to a driven pheasant shoot at Castle in County Offaly, and we also take a closer look at the equipment we used for our PRS competitions a couple of months ago. Welcome to Fieldsports Ireland. Today we are guests of the Castle Fieldsports Gun Club in County Offaly for an Irish driven shoot with a difference. The Castle Fieldsports Syndicate split all the keepering duties here between the team, and this helps to create an incredibly relaxed and friendly environment with a huge amount of banter coming from all angles.
Yeah, I just had the first drive. Didn't expect much from this because it's a game crop right in front of us, but the birds climbed really well. One of the guys here, he breeds the birds, and there's a great variety of different breeds and different strains they put on the ground. So it's really strong flying birds there. Had a couple of shots myself, didn't shoot very well. Sort of new gun is going to take me a little while to dial into, but we're getting into some forestry now in the next drive, so really looking forward to seeing what kind of day we have put on.
I've chosen to shoot a Rizzini today. Having tried the brand for the first time a few weeks ago, I've become a big fan of their guns, and this round body 32-inch sporter suits me extremely well. Light and well balanced for a long barrel sporter, this gun has great stock dimensions for driven game shooting and tight bores to ensure a good seal with fiberwog cartridges. It has been supplied with 3/4 chokes, which may be a little tight, but they will help to ensure we get clean kills, something which is extra important to the picking up team here who have to deal with heavy cover.
So here we are in the second drive. We're actually a back gun. We've got another line of guns just in front of this little esker, and lovely traditional looking forestry drive. Just had a quick look at the shot cam footage from the first drive, and the couple of birds I shot at, I was well under them, a foot or more under them. So I think it's probably because there's quite a lot lower stock than I'm used to. So I'm going to give myself the kiss of death now. I'm going to shoot better this drive, because I know just to pull up into the bird a little bit more. But anything we get here should be nice. Oh! That's the one I wanted. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Ah! Underneath him. Well, what a drive that was. So exciting. Such a mixture of angles and speeds on those birds. Something about hopper fed birds that they just always fly well and fly more erratically. Tricky birds, a lot of birds there. I was just getting out in front of them and they just turned like pigeons. They're just a much wilder bird when they're hopper fed. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, to come as a back gun and shoot, I've probably 5 or 6 cartridges left in that box. That's as good a drive as you'd want anywhere.
Brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant.
Fantastic birds.
And shooting instinctively with this, it was perfect. It's quite light for a sporter. It's under 8 pounds weight, and it's just the sort of balance I like, weight slightly forward. But just shooting instinctively there, I was just getting on those birds really well. Super drive, absolutely loved it. My favourite game board cartridge. They just suit me. When you get the crossers coming as a back gun, you're going to stretch the range a little bit, so I went up to these, but they just kill so well and a really, really smooth shell to shoot.
I'll go shooting there.
And now it's your horse.
So we've just come into the third drive. We're on this lane and very, very poor visibility in front. Not going to be able to shoot until birds are over the tops of these trees, and anything that's crossing these pines is going to be a decent bird. So this will be snap shooting at its best, but do enjoy a bit of snap shooting. Fun little drive just with the guys. They only run a couple of days here, and sometimes the birds get away on them during the drive, and it just happened that birds came running right through to the front. I don't know whether it's the east wind or whatever it was, but the birds couldn't hear the guns come in, so we ended up having to move the gun line back mid-drive, which it was the right thing to do because birds were climbing really well here, and I got some nice long crossers out there. But yeah, it made it quite exciting. Saw a lot of birds there again, and we're only on a small day here today, so it's probably a good thing that they didn't fly a bit better at the start, but a lot of fun. Saw another couple of white ones there. These guys are determined to get me to shoot a white pheasant today, but I'm not going to pay for the bounty.
Well done, sir.
You can
Well done.
I did not shoot that. Oh, Jesus. Been well and truly stitched up. How much ground are you working on here?
In the woodland itself, there is approximately 1,000 acres in the woodland.
So it's just a gang of the syndicate just doing all the work and putting on a few days?
Yes, just for our own.
Jeez, fair play to you.
It's
a very unique setup.
It's nice, it's different. The drives that we get into are different with the height of the ridges and stuff. It gives you good high birds.
Beautiful terrain for it as well, and beautiful woodland.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And how much work does it actually take? Is it worth doing?
It takes a hell of a lot of work. We start with the pheasants in March, and it runs right through, and we get a break then after Christmas. We say the end of January is our downtime till March again, and so it's a lot. There's a lot goes into it. There's a lot of time is put into it. We have a good group of lads with us as well. It's a very good group of lads. They do a lot of work on the ground. So.
And you don't have a gamekeeping background, or it's just?
God no. God no. Everything is kind of
trial and error,
and it's trial and error.
Oh, well done. Well, it's as good a shoot as you'd want to go on.
Thank you.
It's a massive credit to you.
Well, basically, it was put together basically just for a rough shooting, for walk-up days. And we had to divert over slightly to driven shoots because of the finance to try and keep the shoot running. So it will never be a commercial shoot, but it'll revert back after a couple of drives. We go back to our driven or our walk-up days. We actually have our own program here at the moment. We rear our own birds. We hatch our own eggs and rear the chicks and bring the birds on the estate. And this is our first year with it, and it has worked perfect. We have great success with it, and our driven shoots seem to be going from strength to strength. But in fairness, we have a good team of lads actually from the town here, and the ground itself is ideal for driven shoots. We have a lot of eskers out there, and we have even the oak trees, the beech trees, ash trees. It's natural ground for driven shoots. It's perfect. The conditions are perfect out there.
Yeah. Well, this is the last drive on what's been just a spectacular day so far. I've really been surprised with how good this has been, and the beaters have just beaten this pen out. all hopper fed here, so the birds haven't been fed to a feed right. So they've pushed them all up this bank and over in front, and now they're going to drive them back. And if it's anything like earlier on, we're going to get some spectacular varied shooting here. So hopefully this will be a bumper drive to finish. Oh, nice shot. They are moving.
For more about Rizzini shotguns in Ireland, go to rdsports.com. For details about Gamebor's range of cartridges and where they are available in Ireland, go to gamebor.com. And for information on Jack Pike's shooting clothing, go to jackpike.co.uk. Well, I cannot thank the guys at Castle Fieldsports enough for having us up for that day. It really was one of the most enjoyable pheasant days I've had. And it's a question I get asked a lot. What makes a good driven pheasant day? Is it the birds, is it the hospitality, or is it the crack? And to be honest, it's a combination of all that. And what the guys have there is a really interesting sort of dynamic that just makes for a really enjoyable day. And I've included their email address in the links below. So if you're interested in going along, they are going to run a couple more days next year. And I honestly cannot recommend it enough. The crack and banter that day was just insane. And now we take a closer look at the equipment I used for our PRS competition.
Well, after we did our couple of videos on PRS shooting, we got asked quite a lot of questions, mostly by hunters, in fact, on the actual rig we used and what I thought of the parts and whether they could cross over into the hunting world. So what I've decided to do is just break the rig down into pieces and just give my review and my opinion on the bits we had bolted onto the rifles. The rifle we chose to use was the Bergara B14 HMR. HMR stands for Hunt Match Rifle, and this rifle is designed to be kind of a crossover from hunters to match shooting, and that's why we chose it. The Bergara comes with a button rifled, stress relieved barrel, 22 inches long, and if I was to have one small gripe about the gun, I do wish for match shooting and long range shooting it had a longer barrel. We were just struggling to keep the velocities out at the longer range, but I totally understand in a hunting situation the shorter barrel is more user friendly. The Bergara stock is a particularly nice piece of work. It comes with adjustable length of pull, adjustable cheek piece. It has flush cups fitted. It also has 3 stud swivels fitted, and it just works really well. It can be adjusted to fit more or less anyone, I would say. Ergonomically, it just feels really nice. The only issue I had with the stock for match shooting is I would like a wider forend. Just on some of the stages, a wider forend would have served us better when we were having to use the forend as a rest. So that's really as much as I can tell you about the rifle we used. Just on a shooting note, I was amazed how accurate these were using factory ammunition. This is a rifle that retails around about 1,300 euros and weighs just over 9 pounds without any accessories. And I haven't done much long range shooting, but I found it quite easy using this. The adjustable stock, adjustable length of pull, adjustable trigger, it was really easy to get the rifle set up just how I wanted. I had the sight picture I wanted. I was able to see my strike. The recoil was negligible with the little bit of weight and the 6.5 caliber. Paired with the design of this stock, we were able to see our strikes pretty consistently. I just I've never really been a fan of heavy rifles or sort of the more budget end of rifles, but I really have a soft spot for this gun. When a rifle is accurate and when you shoot well with it, you just kind of build this relationship with it. And yeah, this is one that I don't think will be leaving my gun cabinet for quite a while. I'm hoping to keep this and possibly do a little bit of hunting with it, but definitely do more shooting with it. It's just, I've really taken to it. So the next part of the puzzle for us was to find the right scope, and Daniel recommended the Bushnell Forge. Now Bushnell is a brand that I was obviously aware of. They're a very famous brand, but I don't remember ever using any Bushnell products. But looking at the specs of the Bushnell Forge, I agreed that it suited our needs perfectly at a nice budget price. So the Forge came in 4.5 to 27 by 50, nice range of magnification, and it goes low enough there that if we wanted to use it for hunting we could. 30mm tube, which is fine. I didn't really want to go into 34, 36mm tubes because you just run into issues with mounts and stuff like that. Has side parallax adjustment, adjustable from 25 yards to infinity, which is very useful for PRS matches because you don't really know how close you're going to have to shoot. Eye relief was good, even under pressure for time and in awkward situations. I didn't find any issues getting my sight picture through the scope, which was very important when time is an issue. This thing has a massive amount of elevation and windage built in. Off the top of my head, I think it's something like 50 MOA. We went for the Deploy MOA reticle as well. So we have MOA built into the turret and we have MOA built into the reticle. The reticle is first focal plane, and that was actually very useful to have a reticle that had MOA built in as well, because some of the stages in the PRS match we didn't really have time to change our elevation between shots using the turret. So just being able to use the reticle as well was a much faster way of changing between targets, and that worked really well. The zero stop inside the scope is easy to set. We showed you that when we did the setup, and then it's always quick and easy to come back to your base zero. And that's really about all I can tell you about this scope, other than that it's probably the part I was most worried about. I'm very fussy when it comes to scopes and I'm a bit of a scope snob, but I really can't fault this thing. It worked really well, didn't let us down. As I say, one of the most important things I noticed was how easy it was to acquire the target through the scope under pressure for time and in awkward positions. It really felt like a much higher end scope in that regard. Some cheaper scopes can be difficult to get your eye relief quite right and your eye position right, but this worked really well in every situation. And yeah, again, pleasantly surprised. Comes with lots of nice features. Sunshade here, comes with caps in the box, comes with a lot of nice little extras that you wouldn't expect from a scope at this price point. And yep, worked perfectly. So to connect our scope to our rifle, we chose the Warren Skyline mount, and this was a brand new mount to the market. When we looked at it, it looked like a really interesting piece of kit for what we wanted to do. It comes with these little sort of modular 10 interfaces, and you can connect all manner of accessories from, we have here a bubble mount and a data card holder, and there's all sorts of other things you can connect to these in different places. Warren have always made really high quality mounts, and that's what attracted me first to this. The way it connects to the Picatinny rail is really tight. It clamps down as well as onto the sides, and it's just a very secure mounting system. It's available in 30, 34 and I think 35mm. We just went for the 30mm here obviously, but yeah, I had great faith in putting a Warren on this, especially for the type of shooting we were going to be doing, where you're changing zero, changing magnification a lot, and the rifle was getting bashed about. You really need a good mount, and I knew this would do the job. Warren also sent us this, which was very kind of them. It's not something I really had looked into or realized that we'd need, would be a specific type of bipod, but this is their new Skyline bipod, and this thing is crazy. It's incredibly well made, as you would expect from Warren, made of aluminium. Comes with a Picatinny connector there, and very quick to deploy and very quick to attach and detach from the rifle. The legs go into 5 different positions,
which is really handy for certain shooting positions if you don't have a massive amount of space to deploy the bipod. It comes with a number of accessories as well. You can get spike feet, you can get claw feet, you can get extended legs, but the way the legs extend and retract was very useful. You don't have to sort of come away from the rifle. Tilt and pan as well, all adjustable with one hand, and yeah, it was just an ideal piece of kit for this. Not too heavy either. I could easily use this in a hunting situation, but again, as you'd expect from Warren, really good quality piece of kit, really well thought out with some excellent features. When we were choosing ammunition for our match, there was only really one obvious choice for me, and that was Hornady's match ammunition. This is exactly the sort of situation it's designed to be used in. A little bit of research online and we could find no negative reports of this ammo, and we definitely don't have anything but good to say about it. Speeds were a little bit down from the numbers quoted on the box, but that was more to do with our length of barrel, and once we knew our speeds and put our speeds into the Hornady app, everything worked perfectly and we hit targets consistently out to 1,000 yards and beyond, which for factory ammunition is really good. Testament to how good this ammunition is was to see how many of the American experienced PRS shooters were using this exact same ammunition on the day. The match ammunition has all sorts of specific little additions from Hornady to make it ideal for this. It has a heat shield tip which protects the bullet from deformation during aerodynamic heating. It has an AMP jacket design for optimum concentricity and uniformity. It has specifically low drag profile to deliver the highest BC possible. There's all sorts of things that Hornady go to great lengths to achieve with this ammunition. I'd actually be really interested to see if this bullet head would be suitable for hunting, because the accuracy it delivered was just phenomenal. And if it was going to be a suitable hunting round, it's definitely something I'd like to try in the future.
Well, that's it for this month and for this year. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for all the support, and we'll see you again in January.